Hello and welcome back to the Hold My Beard Marketing Podcast. I am, of course, as always, Jake, the Wizard of Marketing, and I got with me Mitch Barham. What's up?
What up? What up? Just, holding my beard.
Holding my beard. Well, if you've never been here before, this is a marketing podcast about whatever the hell we want to talk about, usually a little bit of updates from the news cycle, as well as our hot takes on what's going on. So hang tight, sit back, get loose, and get ready for some marketing.
Get loose, baby.
Get loose. Usually you have to pay for someone to tell you that.
It's
All
true.
right. Let's just jump in. Anything before we dive? Anything going on in your space? Interesting going on?
No, I mean, it's just still the same. It's everything's just keeping on. Facebook's bipolar crazy person. Nothing wrong with bipolar people, but like it's just unmedicated and needs to get help. But yeah, no, nothing too crazy has happened.
Yeah. Well, on my side of the house, the SEO side, we had the Google leak this week.
Yeah, that's big time.
And by the time this is airing, there's probably going to be a lot more information on this. But we're going to do our best to cover it today once we get through some of the news cycle. So let's just jump into that. Got some fun stuff today. Tried to keep it, kind of light and fuzzy, if you will.
Ooh, I like fuzzy.
All right, starting off in the ads world, Google Ads is now being mixed in with organic results.
Dude, I've noticed that.
So they're actually, and you can see here if you can see the screen, if not, they're basically not just putting ads at the top. They could be in spot 4. They could be in spot 2. It's going to be shuffled in to your experience, much like Facebook ads or Twitter ads. It's going to be part of the scroll now.
It's I noticed that the last few weeks, really kind of, I think in the last week, a lot more like they were sponsored search ads. What people have probably noticed the most is the amount of shopping ads that are now littered across the entire search page. Like it's huge. Like if you're in e-commerce and you're not running a shopping campaign or at least a PMAX, like you're missing out because it's putting it in like 4 locations.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's interesting the shift in ad focus for Google Ads over the last like 9 months feels like they've leaned heavily into e-commerce ads performance.
Oh, big time. Big time. I mean, if you think about it, we were all like, I hate to say they were neglected, but like the way everything's been set up is you had your top, 3 or 4 listings were search campaigns, and then shopping was like right above it. So you could just scroll right past it, and everybody's been trained to do that. So with them mixing it into the actual page throughout, like Facebook, like you said, now like it's going to be more noticed, and they have really catered to lead gen, local services, and all that stuff. And e-com is kind of a afterthought, I feel like, but there's a lot of money to be made from e-commerce stores with for Google with ads, because their scalability is never ending. So they'll just spend more and more and more as long as it works.
Right. Yeah. So big takeaway here is run shopping ads. If you're e-com, run Google shopping ads right now. They are lit, as the kids say these days.
I was just thinking what'll be interesting with this placement of like search campaigns inside of just the page, like kind of sporadically throughout it. The nerdy part of me is now going, how is that going to impact us nerds that run these ads for like lost impression share due to rank or lost impression share due to budget, absolute top, and stuff like that. Like it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of stuff adjusts as well, because the whole optimization will change as well with them doing this.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I just totally nerded out. So yeah.
No, I loved it. It was great. It was great. I feel seen. Okay, so this is a fun one. If you haven't been on Google in the last month, Google's doing these AI overviews. They're basically putting an AI answer at the beginning. And some of them have been rather hilarious because it has no quality score, really, that we can tell. I just wanted to share a couple of these that I thought were fairly funny. You can unwind and get away stress by offing yourself.
Oh, God. Google, you're a little unhinged, my friend.
Yeah, the orange juice has approximately 2 insects per cup in the orange juice.
Oh.
Oh, this one's one of my favorites. This one's amazing. If your cheese is not sticking to the pizza, you can try adding about an eighth of a cup of non-toxic glue to the sauce.
It did not. Did it?
It pulled it
That
from a
is.
Reddit post that was humorous, saying that you could use Elmer's glue in your cheese.
Oh man, that is epic.
US presidents that attended UW Madison have earned degrees. And you can see that Andrew Johnson has earned degrees in 1996, 98, 2000, 2006, 2007, 2010, 2011, and 2012.
Dude's been going to school forever, and he's been
Yeah,
dead forever.
yeah. So, really impressive results. Now, Google has responded to this by giving people the ability to not have AI overviews in their searches, but you have to click a tab at the top of the search called web results to get around it. So it's not like a setting you can turn on or off. You have to just be like, I don't want this, click and go over to the web results.
Interesting.
So, absolutely amazing stuff. So,
I love when Google's just unhinged. Like,
truly fascinating. Here's another SEO bit. John Mueller from the Google SEO team that talks to us blasted toxic links, saying that toxic links do not calculate. There's a big thing in SEO where if you have links from websites that are bad, that they hurt your domain score. And it's interesting. He's saying that that's not true. We automatically remove those, basically, is what he says in the article or his presentation. And for a refreshing first time, due to the Google leaks we're going to talk about here in a bit, seems like that actually might be a true statement. So a little bit of refreshing transparency and truth from the SEO team. Weird, right? Weird. So yeah, take that to the bank. Here's a fun one. So, you know me, I like talking about marketing in the margins, serving underserved demographics within a space. So, Elf, which is a cosmetic brand, is doing a lip oil change at the Indy 500. So, they're going to have basically a makeup booth at the Indy 500 for women to get a top up.
Not a bad idea.
A makeup pit stop, if you will.
Yeah, to get a little glow up, get their pretty on.
Yeah, I love it. They're also celebrating obviously women in racing, which is great to represent that group. Is it interesting that racing is one of the few sports where women and men compete in the same like bracket? I'm not trying to make any like social commentary here. I don't think there's a lot of sports that do that.
No, really, none of them. I mean, yeah, not golf, not bowling. I'm trying to think of maybe cornhole, probably not. But yeah, I mean, driving. It's driving.
It's reaction. It's skill.
Right.
It's truly a leveler when it comes to the strength component, I think.
100%. Yeah, I totally agree. Because there's not a. I mean, I'm sure there's some strength aspect to it with like it's reaction time, it's fast twitch, it's mental clarity, probably more so than anything. Which I kind of, women are, could probably they probably have that more mental clarity than men, and that aren't as crazy, going to take risks. So Danica Patrick, she's done really good stuff. So she kind of blazed the trail. So.
But really cool seeing that celebrated, and a really clever way by Elf to capture that kind of unserved piece of the community. Yeah. I thought that was nice. We don't talk a lot about packaging here. I feel like we should talk about packaging a bit more.
Yes.
It is marketing. And so the next two I've got here are actually about packaging. The first being that Jones is doing augmented reality labels on their sodas. And I'm going to show the video. If you can't see it, I'll explain it. But basically what they're doing is they have this QR code on the label. You scan the QR code, it opens up their specialty app, whatever, and it plays a video right over the label on the actual bottle. And they've got these little mini movies that they're showing on their different bottles.
That's really cool. I've seen like wine labels where it kind of makes it like 3D holographic, but never a video like that.
Again, is it really impacting their marketing? Maybe just by creating interest. I want to see all the videos.
Right.
You know, it's something different, it's something fresh. I think it's really cool, and it's leveraging tech in a space, packaging, that typically doesn't get a lot of tech love.
No, 100%. And I mean, they'll get a pop from it, at least at the beginning, not to like play on words, but they'll definitely see a pop in sales from that because people are going to want to check it out. And then who knows if it'll be sustainable. But I mean, that's again, like you said, you're being unique, you're standing out. It's not just because Jones is a soda, right? So, see what I did there? Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
stay in that realm. Apparently, the soda companies are killing it on the packaging. Check out this next one. Coca-Cola has been doing a lot of limited release flavors. And so they've got a new, and I'm gonna mispronounce this terribly because
Woozah.
Woza, zero sugar flavor. It's a specialty flavor inspired by Africa.
Oh.
And just tell me that can looks incredible.
Oh, amazing. It pops crazy. Again, not to do a play on words, but like that stands out. There we go.
It's really really cool. Um, shelf marketing is tough
Yeah.
because people come in with expectations and they expect a certain vibe based off of what your product does. And so standing out can be dangerous because you're breaking that mold.
Right.
But then again, it can draw a lot of attention to you on the shelf. So I want to see more of this. And if you don't follow him on TikTok, I'm highly recommend Ashwin. Ashwin is an amazing product packaging marketer who talks about this stuff all the time, and probably has a much deeper video on probably this can. So
What is going on in the beverage industry? A lot of beer stuff happening, right? The last couple of weeks, we've seen a lot of beer stuff, like kind of unique innovation with their marketing. And then now, what like the non-alcoholic beverage side of stuff is starting to do that same kind of pivots and changes. Like it's really cool to see, but it is definitely a time for some refreshing of like their packaging and stuff. Because you go down the soda aisle and yeah, okay, you see the red and blue or purple, like you just already associate those with certain kinds of sodas. Pepsi, Coke, Diet Coke is like that gray kind of thing. um this yellow, I was trying to think about it while you were talking. I'm like, I don't know that I walking down the soda aisle have seen yellow packaging like that.
well, lemon lime.
Oh yeah, okay, but
But to your point, this is a moment for lemon lime to take advantage. What if you made a flavor called lemon death? It's an all black can with yellow lettering. You know, something
oof,
just completely different for that lemon lime space.
right, that'd be cool.
I'd drink lemon death. That sounds amazing.
I'd buy it just for the name. What are you drinking? Lemon Death.
Lemon death.
Love it. Well, that's really cool. I'm really excited for the beverage industry. It's going to be interesting to see who else kind of follows suit. Like our energy drinks next. I bet we see some cool stuff from energy drinks.
Yeah, I mean they all look so similar nowadays, almost like gamerfied
Right.
because that's a major market, but can they bring, maybe energy drinks to the corporate level? Like can they
Ooh.
create a corporate version of energy drink? I don't know. I'm just throwing spitballs ideas out there.
Yeah.
By the way, Coca-Cola hire me.
He's a monster. Jake the Wizard.
So, and then one more little article here, Twitter X, some stats about it. Now this article is very interesting because it starts off acknowledging that Twitter is kind of in a tailspin. Okay. They're declining their user base year over year right now. Now, but I think the important thing to understand is that they are in a period of transition. They
Right.
are changing as a platform. 12th most popular social network by users. However, when you get into the deeper stats, and this is where things get really interesting, they're the third most used social network.
Really?
Very, very interesting. Low engagement rates on Twitter, so just be aware of that. Like, you're not going to get your 4% engagement rates, your 2% engagement rates. It's going to be lower, but it's still getting a lot of eyeballs. It is being used by many people as a news repository for themselves rather than a social platform. But I I'm calling it now. Twitter X is going to make a big comeback over the next 2 years.
Uh, I totally agree. It's kind of funny for them to rank like to talk about users. There were so I mean, let's just be honest. On all these platforms, there's so many bots, so many bots. So if we're just going by users, like how many of them are actually bots? Well, Elon got in there and gutted bots, right? And like huge
Mhm.
transitionary period, gutted bots, changed the way things are shown, changed the way their algorithm. They're revamping their ad platform like crazy right now. So it's going to become, I believe, like with you, along with usage in the next 2-3 years, like Twitter X is going to become a titan in the paid ad space, where I live. Like it's already starting to make progress because that's always sucked. For impressions, it's amazing. For conversions, it's been horrible. But they're very much reconfiguring that to get better interest targeting, get better metrics, all that stuff. So but yeah, to your point, I mean, I don't really post on X. You do, but I definitely probably check X 2 or 3 times a day, to see news stuff, marketing stuff, crypto stuff, like quick scan. What's going on?
Absolutely, and to your point, I love that you mentioned that it's quick scan. That is where Twitter is thriving, and it's cycling pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It cycles pretty quickly, and so, and they've, to steal Gary V's term from his new book, here, Day Trading Attention, uh, the TikTokification of social media. They've really leaned into the discovery portions of Twitter for your algorithm, which I think is really, really smart to
Mm-hmm.
allow people to kind of consume their area of desire very quickly.
No, 100%.
So, all right, my TikTok videos of the week.
Ooh,
Got my first
JMO.
one here. So this video is by JMO, Johnny Morgan Stern. He works for the aforementioned Gary V, and he did a quick video on terms you need to be paying attention to in marketing right now. Okay, so these are going to be the big terms that he thinks you should be watching. So let's watch this video.
Acronyms you should care about in 2024, 2025, digital marketing and advertising. SOC, strategic organic content. PAC, platforms and culture. PCS, host creative strategist. A couple other of my personal favorites aren't acronyms though. Brandformance, TikTokification, comments as creative, creative as targeting, supply versus demand of content and user attention, and much more. But those are the important ones. Those are the good ones. And there's a lot of focus on them in this.
So I think there's some great terms in here that we need to be paying attention to. Mitch, what were the big callouts for you?
All of them. I remember seeing that video, and it's God, what was the brand one?
Brandformance.
Yeah, I like that one. I don't know why, but that one just stood out to me. I mean, that to me, the narrative that they're kind of pushing, which is, I mean, not to say it in a bad way, but it's very much the get out there, create the content, but like this stuff plays a role, and then these are the different metrics that are now, or acronyms that are now going to slide into this, because I mean, organic is still neglected heavily when it can play a huge role. So, which ones did you like?
For me, the big call out here is comments as creative. I've talked to several times about engagement marketing, this idea that the best post you have is not your own post, and using comments on those posts as a way to engage, inform, gain awareness, and create delight. Um, so yeah, I think that's a huge point to point out. The takeaway here for me is if you're not making content, you're already messing up. Period.
100%. And honestly, you're it. I don't want to say people are behind, but it's like this. Everything Gary says somehow is like the dude's a psychic. Um, always comes true. And it's I can literally roll back 8-9 years to my last e-commerce brand where he was pushing video on Facebook but also caption it. And it's so funny that people moved away from that, from the captioning, because back in the day we had to manually caption it, which, or use like rev.com or something to like pay for your SRT file. Like he was one of the first ones that was really pushing like video, like video's king. And then now people, because of TikTok, the TikTokification, as Gary would say, videos freaking everywhere. And so whatever this man says, follow it. And whatever he starts posting, do the same thing. Like whatever Gary does, do it.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of truth to that. So, all right. Next one I've got here is a video of Shaquille O'Neal. Now, I think that let me preface this one a little bit. This is just good business. This video is just about how you do good business and how doing good business can result in great sales. So let's watch Shaq's story here.
And my best story is I had a Reebok deal, 40 for 5. And I'm leaving the arena one day and this lady she's ripping me a new hat. You motherfuckers charging these babies all this money for the shoes. So I had like a 2,000 in my pocket. I was like, ma'am, I don't make the prices. Here you go. And she smacked the money in my hand. Why don't you motherfuckers make a shoe that's affordable? And I thought about it. And I was like, you know what? She's right. So that day, cut ties with Reebok. Started my own brand. Yeah, that day.
What do you define cut ties?
I told him, I said, keep the money. This ain't right. Don't want to make it no fight. I'll still wear the shoes that I wear during the season, but I'm going to be looking to do my own thing. He's like, okay, we understand. You know, at the end of the year, we're going to do this. I said, just the money you owe me, keep it. So I started the Shaq brand. And I went to my favorite store, Walmart, and we did a deal.
I mean, empathy, which I cut this an article about this earlier, but empathy in business is ridiculously powerful.
No, tremendously. In every aspect, all businesses, like that's and that's huge for somebody that was probably getting paid a lot of money to just be like, yeah, you know what, like there's the majority of people can't afford this stuff and they really want to like do that for them. Like that's just huge. Like, yeah, I love that. Shaq's such a good dude.
Shaq's a great dude.
Yeah.
So, all right, it's time. We need to talk about the Google leak.
Ooh, I'm gonna get my popcorn.
So for those of you who don't know, earlier, a couple days ago when this airs, there was a leak of some internal documentation from the Google algorithmic team. Now, we need to preface that this data is adjacent to the search algorithm, meaning that it's not from the search algorithm itself, but rather from the data repository that the algorithm uses. So there's a lot of data we learned from this based off of different storage containers of what they're storing, what data they're keeping track of, what the algorithm's calling back to itself when a search is done. So it's not showing us weighting of like what factors are better than others. It's really just about what is the data that's getting collected and sent back to the algorithm when they're testing the rank. So bear that in mind. However, holy crap. There is a lot in this document. I think the quick hit here is that there are 14,000 ranking features. Wow. There are 14,000 different pieces of information that the algorithm is storing to use in their ranking process.
That's huge.
It sounds daunting. Like why the hell would you ever want to do SEO? How are you even going to make an impact?
No, I don't know.
And so some of the key takeaways before I dive into a little bit more of the details are there are several things that Google has been lying to us about, that their team has just blatantly lied about. Now, in their defense, this is again fresh information. This is all blowing up right now. Supposedly, there are things that the public algorithm team, John Mueller and friends, that they don't know. So they may have said things in error, not in spite. So don't go blow up John Mueller. Don't go destroy them. Like, We have to be kind. We all use Google. We haven't paid for Google ever.
True.
Just be aware of that. Like, we have to be kind. But also little signals that are very interesting to discover. If you want to read the full article on this, you go to ipullrank.com/Google-algo-leak. I'm sure there's a million other articles on it by now after just 24 hours, but this was the original one, and I think it's got a pretty good breakdown initially of what's going on. So here's some notable reveals.
Yeah, I was gonna say, please share old wise wizard, because this is above my head.
So domain authority, I've talked about this in many TikTok videos and maybe even here on the podcast in the past. Google has claimed they don't track domain authority. What is domain authority? Domain authority was a statistic created by SEO tech companies to score the valuableness of your site to the internet. Okay? So local dentist, maybe a score of 20 or less. But Amazon, 98, 96. Wikipedia, 98, 96, right? These are big, important websites to the internet. All right. And it's always been this metric that's helpful to the SEO, but never been an official metric, except that it is. So, basically what we found in the code is site authority is what Google calls it. So I'm imagining a lot of these tools are probably going to change domain authority naming to site authority naming. So you might see that change, but they are definitely storing some level of domain quality scoring across the board about your site.
Liar, liar, pants on fires.
Yep, absolutely. Another popular one, we don't use clicks for rankings. A lot of good SEOs knew that they were. We've been testing it for years. Clicks do result in more ranks. If you get clicked on, you get better rankings, which is why Google ads and Facebook ads, even just for awareness, are actually part of an SEO strategy.
And I was gonna say, it's kind of funny to say that clicks don't help, but because doesn't that show engagement and interest? Therefore, hey, people are interested in this. Let's move it up. Like there's some relevancy here. So to your point, as you said you did when you started that, it's talking about this, like good SEOs knew it, because I mean, it's just, to me, it's like, I don't do SEO, but like, I mean, for me as a paid ads guy, I'm looking at it going like, well, yeah, I mean, it shows engagement. Like you should use that as a part of your ranking.
Absolutely. And to just show how important they are, the system, so in the Google algorithm, there's several different algorithms that all work together. One of them is called Nav Boost, which is the one that's responsible for this. It is mentioned throughout the documentation over 80 times.
Oh, wow.
And there are several different types of clicks that they're tracking. Last click, longest click, something called good clicks, unsquashed click.
What's a squashed? Like, is that like you squashed a bug?
So this is from the documentation. I'm going to read it out loud here. This is not being populated for the current format. Instead, 2 instances of crap click signals, which is a term they're using, are used. We are migrating to this new format where this field will be populated. So they had some form of tracking called crap click signals.
Wow.
That they were tracking. They're squishing it into this one term. So really, really just interesting stuff on that. We don't use anything from Chrome for ranking. Now, this has been a long held mythos, and it's kind of been confirmed that Google created Chrome to make search better.
Weird.
Like that's literally why they made it, because they wanted to take the data from Chrome and use it in their algorithm. And now very clearly in this, Chrome to total field, site level Chrome views.
I'm not shocked. I mean, come on.
Now, from an ads perspective, this is interesting. Can you target ads at specific technologies, browser types?
No, I don't think browser types off the top of my head, but like, mobile, tablet, or desktop. Yeah.
So just an interesting thing to, if you ever do get that opportunity in ads, something to take advantage of, because it's going to result in better rankings. So, this was a funny one. There is a concept throughout the document called Twiddlers, which is just a fun term.
Yeah.
And Twiddlers are basically just little tiny things they can tweak on the fly. And there's a bunch of Twiddlers in there. You can look into them, but basically they result in boosts or demotions to how your site can rank. Again, go read the article. It's in depth. It's crazy. One big takeaway for me was this whole thing about authors. Authorship is very interesting. Every time you create a piece of content, a web piece of content, the person who creates it gets tagged in that content. They're called the author. And there's author data. And that is tracked separately, independently from the website. So if you author something on another site, that's all getting culminated in the author's value, and Google is holding that value against the page.
Wow. So then would that behoove people to potentially write for, I don't know, again, I'm probably going to sound stupid when I say this, but like high site authority, like Forbes or something, let's say, like you write an article for Forbes and then you go write something for your own blog on your own website, like that kind of crosses over?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
Yeah, so very interesting. So you want to get your authorship consistent is step number 1, and then leverage that across the site. Demotions, things that demote your rankings, anchor mismatches, SERP demotions, nav demotions. If you have bad navigation on your website, guess what? You're getting punished.
That's big, because navigation is a big thing we always harp on websites too.
Absolutely. So the answer to this, in my opinion, is start using mega menus. Put more stuff in your nav, give Google more opportunities to like your nav, and don't have abandoned, orphaned pages.
Oh, poor orphaned pages. We don't want.
Yeah, no. I mean, nobody wants. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Bad joke.
That could get us canceled, Jake.
So calling back to what we talked about earlier, the link spam, Google tracks your spammy links automatically and removes them from your ranking structure. That's what this section here is about, this spam velocity signals. So I think that's really interesting.
And those are like spammy backlinks?
Spammy backlinks are automatically. So a lot of the SEO tools have a system to kind of disavow the bad backlinks. And it's one of the reasons why you pay these softwares, so that they can help you identify these and remove them. Google's doing that automatically. You don't actually need to use your disavow list.
Yeah, cool.
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe there's some advantages to it, but not sure. Big one here, another one, is that your homepage ranking is added to the calculation of every other page on your site.
Meaning, so like, let's say like on our websites or most people's websites, it's like, here's the name of my company, and we put it across every single freaking page. Do we have to continue to do that, or will it automatically bring it across?
It should be bringing it across all the pages, because your homepage and all of the things that it ranks for are being attached to every other page. So 2 things from this. One is you don't have to keep saying stuff like you serve Chicago
Right.
on every page. If you do it on your homepage, you're covered. Okay.
Huh.
But the second thing is you got to crush your homepage. You got to make sure it's amazing.
Interesting.
So go update your homepage. They even look at font sizes, font consistency.
Really?
That's something really interesting. Here's a good one. If you write short content, we're talking 500 words or less, you're graded against a different grading metric than longer articles.
Huh.
You're scored against something called originality. Now, what does that mean? No freaking clue. But if you are writing shorter content and it is original, you should be performing better.
Okay, so moral of the story is write longer AI content.
Mm-hmm. Or write very short content.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an advantage. If you don't have time and you can only write 500 words, there you go.
There you go.
Also another fun one here. Give you another one. Video focused sites are in a separate algorithm. So what is a video focused site? It's a site where at least 50% of the pages have a video on them.
Okay. So that could even be like an e-commerce site that has video explainers or something on their product pages, which then could be interesting. Okay. Okay.
So if you can put videos on 50% of your pages, it says nothing, by the way. Now, again, we don't know. It says nothing about the videos being unique. It's just that there are videos on 50% of the pages. So you could make a play. Again, not telling you to do this, but maybe worth an experiment. Go put a video in your footer.
Ooh. Does that, so back to the homepage thing, would that carry over to the rest of the pages?
I mean, if you got a video in your footer, it's on every page.
That was a dumb statement. It's on every page. Shit.
I don't know if that will work or not. It's worth testing. Again, this is all super fresh. And then this thing goes on. I mean, you know, I'm about
huge.
2/3 of the way through this. It is just massive, the amount of data leak from this. And there's so many takeaways. I'm sure we're going to see tons more. Someone's already made a dashboard to search this document for terms and things like that. So it's only going to get more wild as the weeks go on. But big thing that I think is important from this is that you need to be nailing your technical as much as your content, because your technical is playing a lot into this. And I don't mean load speed. I mean schema markup. I mean meta descriptions. Everything you can put in there is going to be more valuable in the new algorithm as it's, you know, constantly changing. It's very clear that they're leaning into that level of detail.
Thank you to whomever leaked this. We appreciate your servitude to us.
We actually know who it is.
Ooh.
He came out and released a video about why he did it. He's like, it's not for monetary gain. It's that I've been working at Google for 7 years and I'm sick and tired of the lies and the lack of transparency. And to a degree, Google gaslighting a lot of sites for why they're not working.
So I'm assuming this person had to have quit. Or are going to be fired and then probably sued. But hey, you know, I'm just assuming.
You know what, though? The world needs whistleblowers.
Dude, the minute they took do no evil out of their mission statement, that just rubbed so many people wrong.
Why would you remove it? Even if you're doing evil, why would you remove it?
Yeah, made no sense. So it was like, huh.
That's what you're going to be honest about? That's what you chose?
Right. Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Oh, but yeah, so if you want more updates on this, go to iPullRank.com. I'm sure there's going to be lots more articles on Search Engine Journal and a bunch of the other major SEO repositories, or you can easily follow this podcast or, you know, myself on TikTok. Yes. I'm going to be covering this pretty repeatedly, which brings me to a very quick point, and then we'll jump over to our 7 minutes of heaven segment. I am absolutely flabbergasted. I did not realize how many people despise SEO people. I have gotten so many comments on my video about this, about how SEOs are the bane of the world. And I just think that's really funny. Like, I have a thick skin, but
yeah, well, you're right there with agencies. I mean, it's like we're the cockroaches of the world, paid ads expert. It is strictly because of the bad SEO people out there and like the bad paid ads people that then make it more difficult for guys like me and you who have been doing this for a very long time, do it in a very ethical way, are very transparent, very honest people. But there's all these bad actors that, you know, I mean, SEO is probably the easiest thing to pull over the wool over somebody's eyes. Nobody knows. Like they don't, I would say it's a little bit easier than paid ads because they've wisened up to paid ads and they can see more, but the normal person or business owner or people don't know what to even go look for SEO because a lot of it's behind the scenes. It takes a while to take action. But no, yeah, you and I are both very hated people. We're scammers. We're everything. It's crazy.
At the end of the day, if you're serious about marketing is about going to where the attention is.
Yep.
And if the attention is on Google, If the attention is on Facebook, if the attention is on Twitter, marketers are going to be there. Maybe not right away, but they will be there because that is where we gain value, is wherever attention is.
We're waiting to ruin Threads. I'm waiting. I'm waiting to ruin Threads. Like, trust me. I've been chomping at the bit since that thing came out. Yeah, as Gary Vee says, I mean, where the attention goes, we go, and you don't be romantic about the way things were. You just move, pivot, and adjust, and it is what it is. But it's unfortunate that people would attack you or SEO people in your comments on the video where you're trying to help people.
Part of the process. So let's jump into our 7 minutes of heaven segment. This is where we're going to break down a website. Some of it's going to be nice, some of it's going to be brutal. Let's just jump in and go. This is Carolina Mushroom Farm. What do you think?
Mushrooms. It could use a dress up. I mean, it's very minimalistic, definitely kind of at the beginning stages. I mean, I would right out of the gate, header, take that logo, put it to the left of the navigation. So you squish that and move everything up. I mean, we know how we are about above the fold.
Above the fold, super important. And the spacing here is really wonky. I'm going to scroll this down because I'm pretty sure that this is a full height section.
Yeah.
It looks like it is. And it's not taking into consideration the header. So it just needs some layout. Now, what do we think about the title? The largest fresh mushroom supplier of the Carolinas.
Cool. Yeah, they supply mushrooms.
They do. My issue is I'm not anywhere in this story as the consumer. There's nothing that I'm a part of. It's all about you. It's all about your story.
And then the button says shop tinctures. So it's like, oh, you sell stuff. I thought maybe you were just a mushroom farm, but
Right.
like you actually sell something. Kind of confusing.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Locally grown, locally owned. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. And then shop tinctures. Let's scroll down the page here. 10% discount right out of the gate. How do you feel about instant discounts like that?
I'd rather be in an exit intent pop up, but I also get it. I mean, if you're starting out brand new, like okay, but I prefer an exit intent pop up.
Absolutely. Then we get into some actual products here. I do like that the products tell you what their use case is.
Yeah, no, they do a great
I
job
think
of
that
that.
that's
Yeah.
important. It is also just a little hard to read. It's a little
Right.
tiny.
Yeah, that gray font, and like the font type that's chosen, and it feels like it's light black gray. My old eyes are having a hard time. Excuse me, a hard time with that. And and then again, you know how I feel about buttons.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, when it comes to products, like sets like that, I don't think you need a view all button. Like that's what the products thing up top is in the navigations for. Like the view all button, I don't think you need it. Like maybe I'm weird.
I like get off the bus moments. I like buttons. I like being able to get to things quickly. So I don't hate it. Could be laid out a bit better.
Right.
And then we roll right into this what makes our farm tick section, which I just don't love the headline. I get it. I get the casualness, the presentation there, but there's something about that headline that rubs me the wrong way. Plus, big old block of text. Ain't nobody reading that. Show me a picture.
No, and I was thinking about this the other day, not to like cut into this time frame, but like let's be honest, nobody honestly, in my opinion, cares that much about any business is about or your reasoning behind what you do. Nobody cares. They're not going to read it. They just want to know what are you going to do for them.
They care after they're interested in the product. We have to build interest in the product. And the way you build interest in the product is by telling a story where the person is the hero and the product helps them. So a little breakdown of the actual mushrooms. I kind of like this block. This is fine. Again, font sizes, font choice maybe could be improved here, but I like the pictures. It's clean.
Yes. My only thing on desktop would be how it has that 3 and 2. It's an aesthetic thing for me. I would rather, if you can add an additional third one in that bottom right. Yes, on mobile, I'm sure it looks just fine, which is going to be where the majority of traffic is anyways. But on desktop, it just drives me nuts. I want that. I would probably try to make that block because that's as likely Shopify. Screw it. If you can't make them even, go 5 wide.
Well, also, another option is you have that products button at the bottom. You could make your 6th card a click to see all or something like that.
Oh, there you go. I like that. Yeah.
And put it in like a different color. So some reviews down here at the bottom. We get to the bottom and no nav at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, that should be fixed. And then I don't like that sign up for our newsletter, big block like that.
Let's jump into a product here. Again, if the header was a little smaller, we get our our purchase button right on the page. It's right there, but I also have a bigger screen than a lot of people. So not a lot to say about this. This is a pretty standard shop layout here. Again, just I think the header being squished will probably help out a bit.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. And they could go probably into like that font choice on the description right there. It reminds me of like Papyrus or Comic Sans. Yeah, they go into like benefits, but like let's maybe expand a little more without going into claims, because that's kind of the thing with like these supplement products is you can't make like claims, medical claims. So like they're probably already borderline on that, but like that like God, it almost reminds me of cursive / italic. Like it's just it's harder to read.
Readability is super important.
Yep.
Readability, and I think we're missing out on an opportunity here to educate.
100%.
Education around this product is going to be important, and we're missing out on that opportunity.
100%. I do like how they have the one-time purchase, subscribe and save, but yeah.
That's pretty good. Another thing I was thinking about as we're looking at this, the heading menu, rather than just having products, why don't you do it by symptom or area of care? Like immunity, you know, and have a click for immunity,
right?
Memory, focus. Those could be much more engaging menu options than what we've got here.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea because they don't have a lot of products and there's a lot of space up there that could still be used.
Absolutely. Again, fonts. I'm not going to harp on this too much, but whoa.
That's tiny. I'm way too old to read that.
And that's our 7 minutes.
Whoop, whoop.
Awesome. So, recapping and closing. Crazy Google stuff. Make cool packaging.
Yeah.
Do no evil.
And if you are going to do evil, take it out of your mission statement.
Exactly. Be honest about your evil.
Yeah, just come on, people. If you're going to be evil, just say, we're doing evil. Come on.
Mitch, where can we find you?
All across the internet, at Beardpreneur, across all your favorite platforms, and barheadmarketing.com, and on Jake's YouTube channel on this podcast.
Excellent. I'm of course Jake the Wizard. You can find me at the Wizard Marketing pretty much everywhere except for Twitter. Jake T the Wizard over there. Also, don't forget that you can join our mastermind if you want to hang out with us every week, learn, grow, get better at marketing. We do have that. You can join that at teachme4m.com. And yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to have you there. Also, follow this podcast. If you're listening to it and you got this far, you must like something. So give us a follow on your favorite podcasting platform.
Leave us a review. Let us know what you think. Rate it. Shopify, iTunes, or Shopify. Spotify.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want to be featured in the 7 Minutes in Heaven segment, drop a comment on the YouTube video. That's where we're pulling this from. So please, 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 please go pop it in over there. Thank you so much for being here. This is the Hold My Beard Marketing Podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Keep on keeping on.